Introduction to The Secret. The author says, "Little did I know at the time of my greatest despair was to come the greatest gift." And isn't that true of so many people? Like Home with God and so many other books that were written. People have really serious problems and pain before they finally wake up and start doing something right. Well, you know what? We're lucky because I'm just going to give you lots of good hints on how to do this without having a lot of pain. The author looked at ancient books for guidance. She discovered many people who understood the secret. That's amazing. She went back hundreds of years. They were some of the greatest people in history. And she investigated all of these and read about it and knew what they were saying and thinking. Plato, Shakespeare, Newton, Hugo, Beethoven, Lincoln, Emerson, Edison, Einstein, I could go on and on. These people all knew what the secret said and what it could do. Then she said she began to search for people still alive who knew the secret. And she said, "I found the modern day practitioner of the secret." And she found it in scores of people that were very successful and that were able to take these ideas and take themselves up to high levels. She became so excited that she decided to do something almost impossible. They filmed 55 of the greatest teachers across the United States in 120 hours. 8 months later, The Secret was released as a movie. The film swept the world. Stories of miracles began to flood in. They used the knowledge they had of the secret to make it happen. That's what's important. 24 amazing teachers are featured in the book. They're written up in the end of the book. Their words are all filmed. The author says, "I've shared all the easy paths." That's the whole point of this talk. We're going to give you the easy paths, the shortcuts, and the tips that you can use to live all of your dreams. Why I'm saying that's so important is because when I decided to read The Secret and I looked at it, I thought I'd do my own little survey. And everywhere I go, I could take this audience and say, "How many of you have read The Secret or seen the movie?" And I bet you all of you have. How many of you have used it to change your life seriously? And most of you probably haven't. So, is it necessary to give you some tips, some ideas, some shortcuts, and to stimulate you and to try to encourage you to use these ideas? They're powerful, and I want you to have them. That's why I'm doing this. So wait a minute, what is the secret? In one sentence, here it is. The secret is the law of attraction. And that's a law in this universe, just like gravity. We contain in us a magnetic power. Magnetic waves are sent out from every thought that you have. And that's how serious this is. You don't want any negative thoughts, because everything you do with negative thoughts brings back problems for you and the rest of the world. So we want to tell you how you could check to see what you're thinking, because we think all kinds of thoughts all day long. It's just like a monkey game. It goes on and on and on. Thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. But is it worthwhile? And we're going to try to find how to get our mind controlled so that we can use it for the best things. The first thing you have to do is make it absolutely clear what you want to be in your life. Magnetics, know this, that magnetic waves are sent out throughout the universe by you. Now, is anybody around in this cosmos that we know of that can do that? Certainly not the cats and dogs, and the human beings can. We've been given that gift. We've been given so many gifts. It's unbelievable. This is one gift that we must remember. You have to make it very clear what you want. And then you have to make it your dominant thought. Keep it at the top of your mind all the time. And then there's other things that I'm going to tell you that are going to be very important to make this work. But humans are the most powerful transmission tower that we know of in the universe. Waves go throughout the entire universe with our thoughts. Now, when we were studying Home with God, we looked at for a while what scientists have to say. And they talk about the string theory and how the whole world is just a mass of little jumping around ideas that we can, when we send our thoughts out, we get them organized. They go from electrons to molecules and then to whole things and come right into our life. That's how it works. We can do that. So let's use it. Simply speak and think about what you want. Speak and think about what you want. Be constantly aware of your thoughts. Affirm that thoughts, know this, that thoughts are positive thoughts are hundreds of times more powerful than negative thoughts. That's good news. You know, and we can get rid, don't be afraid of your negative thoughts. You can overcome them very quickly with positive thoughts. Decide what you want. Decide what you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have, and then think. Think, but with your control of those thoughts. Send out that frequency to the universe. You know this. I think you know this. I think you feel this in your gut. That everything that you have in your life, all your problems and all the good things have been brought to you by your thinking. You're constantly drawing things in. One thing that I've done is I wrote an autobiography of my own life. And as I wrote it, I realized, holy God, my life has been directed the whole time. And that's what it is. That's what happens to us. And if you don't ever pay attention and look into there, you don't see it so easily. But let me assure you that that's the way it is. You're constantly bringing things into your life through what you're thinking. So we have to be very careful about what we think. Every thought, let it be a loving thought. Let it be a good thought. And if it's a bad thought, let's identify it and kick it out. And when you start to do this, you actually attract more good things to your life. So it multiplies. And so as you start doing this program, you start to get better and better at it. And it becomes easy. And pretty soon you get to a point where you don't have to try anymore. It just starts running on its own. And then when you get these good thoughts, celebrate them. Celebrate them because that multiplies them. You'll attract more positive thoughts. Positive thoughts bring more positive thoughts. Don't you agree with that? I mean, of course you see that. Did you notice this? I've noticed it all the time. You get up in the morning some days and you're happy. You got good feelings. And everything goes right in your day. It's all a great day. But then there's other days when you wish you had never got out of bed because everything goes wrong. And sometimes I just laugh out loud because I go, this is going wrong, that's going wrong. I know it's coming at me. I might as well go home and forget about it. But we can prevent that. Start out with happy feelings in the morning and don't change your mood. If you do, I'm going to tell you how to check so you can see what your frequency that you're working on and get back to the right frequency. It'll bring more positive things into your mind, more positive feelings. You can begin right now to feel healthy. You could begin right now to feel prosperous. You could begin to feel right now more love in your life. Just keep those things right here at the top of your mind. The universe will respond. Try this. Simple. Close your eyes. No, don't do it now. Close your eyes. Focus on the feelings inside. This is what you'll do at home. Focus on the feelings inside. I'm going to give everybody a copy of these notes that I've got. I've had Gwen helping us put it on a computer so that we can get it to Craig, and Craig's going to give it all to you. Focus on your feelings inside. Focus on your feelings inside. What feelings are you having? If they're not happy, then you know that the thoughts that you've been doing haven't been creating happy feelings. That's as simple as that. If they're happy, you're on the right track. And by the way, when you close your eyes and you focus, and then smile for a while inside when you feel good thoughts. Just smile, just to recognize the fact that, yeah, it's working good. When you master your thoughts and feelings, you'll see how you create your own reality. That's what you'll start to understand. If you get on it and try this, work at it for a while, then it'll get easy. And then you'll realize that you're creating your own reality. That's wonderful. You know why? This is where your freedom is. This is where you get free in this world. You can be what you want. This is where all your power is. You remember the guy Jack Canfield? He's one of the guys that she's got in her book. Jack's the guy that did all the chicken soup things. I met him. And he's made millions doing that, but he's also created a lot of joy in his life by doing chicken soup. He says, since I learned the secret and started applying it to my life has truly become magical. Those are his absolute words right out of the book. So, how do you use the secret? Here it is, very simple. Step one. Step one, make a command to the universe. That's telling the universe what you want. Then write everything down. Write it all down so you make it very clear to you, so you're not just screwing up here. Just write it down and make it as clear as you can, because you got to get it right before you, and then attract the right things. Think it is already in your possession. This is hard. This is a little bit hard, but it's not that hard. And I'm going to tell you how to make it easy. Think it's already in your possession. You got to be able to think that you already own it, that it's happening already, that it's happening before you even receive it. Gee, I thought at first, how do you do that? Well, if you order something from a catalog, do you call them back every couple hours or every day to find out if it's coming? No, you just assume that you own it already because it's going to be at your door. If you get something from Amazon, it just shows right up in your right in the house. Just think it's already in your possession. You have to do that to make the universe want to comply with this. It's got to be like, you got to be part of this act. It's almost like make-believe. Act, speak, think as though you already receive it right now. You've already received it right now. You can see how that's a little bit hard, but it's not that hard. If you think it through and you start doing it, it gets easy. Don't let it dissuade you. Think, oh, that's just pretending, you know. Most of us can't see how it's all going to manifest. We can't see how it's going to manifest. Well, you know what? You don't need to know. You turn on the light switch. Do you need to know how electricity works? No, we don't know. We don't know how those electrons get through there and get this whole thing going and how the lights come on. We don't know any of that. You don't have to know anything about how the universe will manifest some very complicated things for you. It changes the whole world around right away. All those little strings get in line and that's what happens. It's like a miracle every day. What did Jesus have to say about it? Hey, what did Jesus have to say? We all know who that is. Well, his apostle told us, Matthew, whatsoever you shall ask in prayer, believe, and you shall receive. They knew that 2,000 years ago. He's very clear, one sentence. Just believe it and it'll happen. So let's look again at what Jack Canfield has to say. Decide what you want. Believe you can have it. Believe you deserve it. And close your eyes every day for several minutes and visualize. Visualize in your mind. If you're not good at making pictures in your mind, then start practicing. You can get better at it. But many of us can make very vivid pictures in our mind of what you want. Now, then focus on once you got that down, then you focus on what you're grateful for. The first talk I ever gave here was about gratitude because good, we have to get that out of the way because that's the most important thing. You got to get in tune with gratitude. By the way, before you put your feet out of bed in the morning and hit the deck, start thinking of all the great things you're grateful for. Do it while you're still lying down. And do it while you're putting your clothes on. Think about what you're grateful for. There's so many things. And as you do that, you know what you're doing? You're making this a powerhouse. It's just going out there. It's going out there. You're loving the world. Trust that the universe can manifest it for you. Do you have any doubts that the universe cannot do that? Of course it can do that. The universe can, it's just, visualization is a process of creating pictures in your mind of yourself enjoying what you want. Let me say it again. Visualization is the process of creating pictures in your mind of yourself. You see a picture of yourself enjoying what you asked the universe to give you. So you're ahead of the game. You're setting it all up for it. We ran out of pages because Craig and I agreed that I could only have 20 minutes, and I think I've just about done that. So come back in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever the boss says, and I'm going to give you the rest of it. And that's maybe the most important part because there's going to be more hints about how you can do it. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And I just love you guys.